Shalom, family. All praises to the Most High Power, the great I Am, loving kindness, the Holy Great One, the power of Israel. Family, we're going to get into this video with Big Judah. And I have some more information to add to what he brought out. Actually, it's going to be 3 parts. I'll try to keep each one very shortly. I'm going to cover a part of this video. I'm going to cover a part of the second video, which entails Christopher Columbus and the maps. And I'm also going to cover the third video with those agents of Satan, Duplantis, when he was talking about the reason why Yahushua haven't returned is because people are not giving enough money. So I'll do all 3 parts. I'll try to hit everyone a little bit here, a little bit there, just so I don't keep you guys too long. All right, so let's get into this right now, and we'll take it from there.
Now, they knew about, they were exposed to all these tunnels and all these this craftsmanship when they got over here, the Spanish. But, they hid all that because they said, what was it? They had to make sure that they made it seem as if the Aborigines were, mindless people running around butt naked in order to justify the things they were going to do to the people here. All of our history had to subsequently have been, destroyed, manipulated, given to someone else. And that's what we see on a consistent basis here. Now, but they do put these things in movies. I don't know if you guys watched, was it Kong versus Godzilla? I think there was a part where they were in California and they got into some kind of a ship or something like that. And I think it took them underground. I thought it took them all the way to like Japan or Hong Kong or something like that. But it was some underground tunnel that went from one part of the world to another. And I totally believe that they have things like this. I know they have, we got tunnels all over the Americas, and they make it sound as if, the people here, recently built all these tunnels. But it seems as if many of these things were already in existence before the Spanish even got here.
Exactly, it's true. Many of these tunnels were already here before the Spanish got here. Absolutely. So let's go into this book right here. There is a book. Okay. Let's go into this book, The Sacred Network, Megaliths, Cathedrals, Ley Lines, and the Power of Shared Consciousness. Let's get one example of what these tunnels were used for with the ancients. Let's go to page 133, part 2. Let's go in the middle. The Zuni Indian elders of a village who wanted to communicate telepathically with the elders from faraway villages would get into a deep inner state in their underground chambers, or kaivas. Okay? So the Zuni Indian elders, in order to communicate telepathically with the other elders in faraway villages, they will go into their kaivas, their underground chambers, and get into a deep inner state of meditation, right? Now, this does not rule out technology. They may have had technology. They definitely had technology forms of communication. But what is saying here is this: they use their higher self. They tap into their esoteric wealth of elevated state. I should say, right? Like, okay, they just tap into the powers that the Most High give to them, and they communicate that way instead. It's a much more pure form of communication, right? It's very ancient form of communication. Actually, in the beginning, going back to Yatsikat, in the beginning, in the motherland Mu, that's how people communicated, right? They didn't communicate with words like that. It was, you look at me, I look at you, I know what you're saying, you know what I'm saying. So that's how it was, according to the records. Now, let me give you a quick example. The other day I went out to get some food. And as I was in the store, I left my kids in the car. And all of a sudden I have the urge to buy some patties. I haven't bought patties in months, 6, 7 months. So I bought the patties in addition to the food. So I'm walking out the store, walking back towards the car. My son and my daughter, they're just screaming, yelling, happy, jumping up and down in the car. So I asked them, what's going on? What's so funny? They said to me, Dad, the moment you walked in the store, all we were saying in the car is this: patties, get patties, get patties, get some patties. So they actually beamed patties in my head. So the moment I got in the store, I was thinking of patties and I bought patties. I had no plans on buying patties. But they used their magic, they used their powers to speak to me telepathically. Okay? So I can get them the patties. So you see how people can influence you? You see how your children can influence you, right? Matter of fact, in 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 23 to 28, you can read this when Paul was speaking to when Paul was sending one of the brethren back to Jerusalem when he was in Britain. He said to the brethren, listen, I put you under solemn obligation. I put you under oath to greet the brethren with the sacred kiss upon their forehead that will activate the crystal for telethought communication. So this is something the ancients knew. They knew about telethought communication, and these Zuni Indians will go inside their underground chambers or their kaivas and get into an deep inner state of meditation to communicate with each other in different villages. All right, this is a beautiful thing. We can start practicing among each other right now. All right, try it with your wife, with your husband, with your children. Try to communicate with our words and see how it goes. You do it all the time, right? In a relationship, you anticipate each other's needs. You might want something, you're thinking about it, boom, your wife or your husband bring it for you, your kids bring it for you. It happens all the time unconsciously. But try to do it consciously. You know, just like you fast all the time. But the moment you say that you're gonna fast, it becomes very difficult. So let's keep moving here. So that's one example of underground tunnels. And also think about it, didn't Noriega escape from an underground tunnel from his jail cell? Right? So these people know about underground tunnels. Right? You could use it for escaping too. If you're locked up, find your way out through the underground tunnel. Okay, so let's go somewhere else here in this book, this page. Let's see. All right. So in addition to so what do they build on top of these our ancient sites that may have underground tunnels and other stuff? So we see here on this page 136 in this book, this example. We find this example in this book. Jean Morcali in France says this: the Christian sanctuary at Mont Saint Michael stands at the location of an old temple. It is itself situated where a god sanctuary was dedicated to the shining god Belenos. Now you have now an example of a Christian church or Christian sanctuary which is built on top of an old god sanctuary dedicated to a shining god Belenos. So this is another example of the Catholic Church building on top of quote-unquote sacred sites. Now, like I always say, maybe I only said to myself, some of these sacred sites, when we say sacred, we gotta, sacred to whom? Sacred to whom? Not every site is sacred to the Most High. I just want to say that. Not every site is sacred to the Most High. For instance, over here, in this page, they talk about the Celtics, they had a, I just read it for you. They had a pig, I just read it for you. Watch this. Let's go into the middle. Let's keep reading right here. Gwen offers another piece of information about Saint Michael, one of the most sacred sites of France, situated between Brittany and Normandy. He states, there were megaliths at the tip of Mount Saint Michael. Its ancient name was a tomb mount, but it was also referred to as a two-tomb mount. As for the tiny island close to it now, it is called Tumbeline. It was called Tumba Beleni. Why? Because the tomb of Belen, the Celtic god of light, Belenos, the other tomb would be that of Gargan, who, according to Le Susek, was a pre-Celtic megalithic god of light. The one who was replaced by the cult of Saint Michael on the very same sacred site now. This Celtic god of light could have been Yahawashai, right? He is the way, the truth, and the light. See, they know these things. They know these things, right? So what they do, they go ahead and put their Christian sites on top of it. And we already know the Christian church is the church of Satan. So they know what's underneath these places, either a tunnel or an old ancient temple where the Druids worship, in this case, pre-Celtic megalithic god of light. At the bottom here, we're going to find the Notre Dame in Paris was built on top of another sacred site that the Druids worship, the Most High. Okay? They do that right there. But this ancient site, Notre Dame, is situated above an ancient pagan temple dedicated to a mother divinity. Now remember, the big homie have a video on pagan. He break down the word pagan. Now go check that out. The pagan has nothing to do with anything. It is just a word that they use whenever they want to associate our people with ignorance, whatever. But that's not what that word was actually at all. Just like they use the word primitive. Primitive has nothing to do with ignorance, has nothing to do with none of that. But they use it whenever they want to associate you with not knowing anything. We don't have any logic. You walk around butt naked, barefooted. You uncivilized. This is what they do to and you know, they pervert the true meaning of what it was originally meant to be used. So they use it for something else. So we see now different situations where, at least two so far, where the ancient sites were built upon by Christian sites. Now, watch this. In June 601, Pope Gregory wrote, I have come to the conclusion that the temples of the idols in England should not on any account be destroyed. You see that? He said, don't destroy the ancient sites in England. Don't do that. Just sprinkle a little holy water on the altars in which the relics are to be enclosed. He said, go ahead and sprinkle a little holy water on the altars set up in them in which relics are to be enclosed. He says further, I hope the people, seeing their temples are not destroyed, will leave their idolatry and yet continue to frequent the places as formerly, coming to know and revere the true God. So his intentions were for the people to stop the idol worshiping and to come to revere the true power. But what did he do? What did he do? Let's find out. The Catholic authorities, therefore, right? Hold up. Let's continue reading this paragraph. And finally, in the Old Straight Track, Alfred Watkins quotes, it is on record that Patrick, Bishop of the Hebrides, Okay, Patrick, bishop of the Hebrides. What the hell is a Hebride? Didn't Big Judah come out with a video says Patrick is Paul? So let's reread that. It is on record that Paul, bishop of the Hebrews, desired Obelisks to build a church wherever he found the upright stones or menhirs. You see that? So now, I don't know if Patrick is Paul. I don't know if Hebrides is Hebrews. But over here in the Old Church tract, Alfred says that Patrick was ordered to build a church wherever he found a stone or a menhir. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. The Catholic authorities, therefore, provided instructions to build churches on the exact spots where ancient temples and megaliths stood. In practicality, cover them. So this is your classic Psalm 83. This is your classic taking crafty counsel. Okay, Psalm 83. And it says, for lo, verse 2, thine enemies make a tumult against thy people and consulted against thy holy ones. What was the tumult? The Catholic authorities' tumults were they provided instructions to build churches on the exact spots where ancient temples and megaliths stood. The same thing that Patrick was ordered to do, to build a church wherever he found an upright stones or menhirs. In this case, I don't believe that this Patrick here was Paul. Okay? All right, so let's go. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, and they have consulted against your hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You see that right there? The Catholic Church says, listen, build churches wherever you find a megalith. Wherever you find megaliths standing, build churches. In practicality, cover them. Cut them off from being a nation. See, that's the same thing right there. Because when you build churches on top of these ancient sites, the people, original people, will never know what was there before. Therefore, tap into the energy grids that's on these places. So ultimately, that's what they want for themselves. They know what these places were used for. Druids used these places. You know, there were two types of Druids. There were the Druthans and the Drownees, one of which were the medicine, right? They studied the medicine, the earthly mother cures, and the other, the Druids, type of Druids, they went into the science, okay? They went into the priesthood, the divinity type of thing, you know, the devil in that right there. But here it is. These people taking crafty counsel and they say, yo, cover all the sites with churches. Cover everything. Wherever you see a dolmen, a menhir, cover everything. So it is, let's just say at this point, right? We are blessed to even have a place like Stonehenge, Connecticut Stonehenge, Stonehenge in Britain, Stonehenge in New Hampshire. We are blessed to have a place like this because the Catholic authorities, the Vatican, the Church of Satan, they gave an edict and they go and say you should cover everything. Wherever you find stones, cover it with a church. That's crazy. Let's keep on reading over here. Next page, page 242. According to Clark, there is a cathedral called Chartres Cathedral. It was erected on a Druidic site, comprising not only of several menhirs, but also of a large dolmen. This site comprised of several menhirs and also a large dolmen table, under which was a chamber. There was a chamber, you know, sort of like a tunnel underneath this dolmen, underneath these menhirs and this dolmen. There was a chamber. Okay? Now, what was this chamber used for? We'll come back on top for a second. This chamber was used for this. Listen to this. Sick people would be crowded at that location, and they would live there until they were healed. So this chamber, which the cathedral was erected, which was a Druidic site, which had several menhirs and a large dolmen, was crowded by sick people who actually lived there, sort of like a hospital. They would go there and get admitted, and they would not leave the spot until they were healed of their diseases, of their ailments. So this Druidic spot location had healing faculties, healing energy rays. The geomagnetic grids, the ley lines there were very healthy, and the earthly mother energy will emit healing properties that these people were benefiting from, and people will go there in these chambers and get healed. You know, just like the Indian, the Zuni Indian, will go down into his kaiva, okay, and get into a deep meditative state to thought communicate with the other elders in faraway villages, where they use these chambers to heal. And these chambers, you have cathedrals that were built on top of them. So I went and looked for the Chartres Cathedral. I just want to show you the Chartres Cathedral. Let me see. Chartres Cathedral. I just want to show how it looks. This is how it looks. This is a very opulent cathedral in France, Paris. It looks like this. But let me show you something else about it. Let me show you something else that they showed in this picture that was very telling to me. I believe that they were trying to show the world the energy grids. Look at the priest on my hand, very proud here. Okay? So underneath this right here is a big dolmen. Okay, several menhirs. And they know there's a chamber, a healing chamber there. I'm going to show you something. Hold on. Images. Watch this. Look at how this cathedral look at night. Look at how it looks. So what I believe they're doing here is they're showing you the energy waves emitting from the menhir and the dolmen underneath the church. That's what they're doing. They're showing off the energy waves. They're showing you what you can't see beneath the chambers, where they don't allow anybody to go into. This is where they go and get charged up, right? Sucking up the energy of the earthly mother from the dolmen and from the menhirs. This is what they're doing. This has nothing to do with a light show. Okay, this is not a light show. This is them showing off what you actually missing out on right here. Oops, what is this? What I do? No. This is them showing off what you're actually missing out of. We're missing out on this right here, and they know it. They know it. They just rubbing it off in our faces. Look at this. Look at how opulent this looks. This is not a light show. This is the energy emitting from the dolmen and the menhir, from beneath the chamber, from within the chamber, underneath this church. All right? That's what my spirit is telling me. I may be wrong. Who knows? Where else? Let's go back to the book. See what else I want to cover here. Okay? So that's all I wanted to show you. And in this map is a network of ley lines, different churches connecting within the city of Paris. So you could see main axis and ley lines in Paris. So this is a main axis ley line in Paris. And every dot is a church. And they're all connected, and they all have menhirs, they all have dolmens, they all have underground chambers, they all have network of canals. This is an obelisk. On the next page right here, when you're looking at this obelisk, you are being shown the flow of energy the floor of sacred lines around an obelisk in a cave. And so now, my wife and I and our children last year, we went to an obelisk. We went to see a sundial in Trinity College, somewhere in Hartford, Connecticut, in our state. And one of the sundial was upon an obelisk. So when we were standing at this obelisk, this type of energy was being emitted from the obelisk. So from underneath it, below the ground, and from above the ground. So they're just showing you. And they refer to this as the G-spot of at two crossing of cosmotelluric lines. Okay, so this is the type of energy that is being emitting from the ground, and a lot of times these are healing rays, healing energy. So whenever you go to a site like this, whenever possible, okay, whenever possible, because it is not always possible, take off your shoes, okay, make contact with the ground with your skin, touch the ground, get on your knees and touch with two hands. But also, before you go, purify yourself, get into a fast. Purify your mind, clear out the debris first before you go to a sacred site. Now, if you're driving around, you see something and you just run up on it unprepared, it's a different thing. But if you are planning a trip to go visit one of those sites and whatnot, make sure you always purify yourself so you can benefit from the energy in the ground, so you can be one with the earthly mother. Okay, you always have to purify yourself. This is again a network of lines all over France where the churches are, and this is obelisk in Surrey Yantra. They're showing you here obelisk is in the middle and how the energy is being transmitted out in and through, above and below, beneath, everywhere from that from that obelisk right there. So we're not gonna get into this page. Let's go back to the video. So I actually recorded this video, it was too long, so I decided to do it over. Let's go into this book first. Let's go here. Ley Lines and Earth Energies. Okay, Ley Line and Earth Energies by David Cohen and Chris Arnold. Let's see what we want to get from this video right here. This is a tunnel beneath a dungeon. Now we're talking about the tunnels, right? The tunnels underneath the dungeon, just like they had the chambers, the healing chambers, just like the Zuni Indians will go in their chambers, in their kaivas. Well, this is a castle. Underneath this castle, there is a tunnel. And within this tunnel, let me read you what they did there. Some of the easiest things to find are tunnels, as the United States Army discovered in Vietnam, locating underground complexes built by the Viet Cong. Some years into this fascinating research, I followed a ley line to the Mergeny Castle, Glen Lyon, Perth, Shear, and met the gamekeeper and his wife. They asked me, locate a tunnel which was said to pass from the castle to the nearby river. When the castle was built, this tunnel was incorporated into its structure, and the unfortunate inmates of the dungeons, when they had finally succumbed, were tossed into it. Did you hear that? They built this castle on top of the tunnel, and they would just throw the inmates in the dungeon, and when they died or whatever, almost close to death, they would dump them in the river underneath the tunnel, underneath the castle. Okay? When the castle was built, the tunnel was incorporated into its structure, and the unfortunate inmates of the dungeons, when they had finally succumbed, were tossed into it, their bodies being swept into the river. This gruesome tale seemed impossible. However, the castle was only a few feet above the river, and any tunnel leading to and from it would be full of stagnant water. These people are nasty, disgusting. This is what they do. Now, another thing came to mind. You could go ahead and read this, okay? Just read the rest of it. It's a whole lot of things to write. to read. I don't want to read the whole thing. Another thing came to mind. This network of underground tunnels remind me of a video that I did several months ago, and I discussed the Silk Road. Remember the Silk Road? Just like in the East, the Silk Road was a network of trade routes. Could these tunnels be a network of trade routes in the West or in Britain? Could the ancient use the tunnels as a type of trading routes? Right? The Silk Road was trading routes that spanned from Europe all the way to Asia. Remember, okay? They trade all kinds of stuff. Silk Road trading routes. This is how they made their money. Silk Road Facts, History and Map Britannica, Silk Road, okay? Look at this right here. It's from China all the way to Europe. So all these countries are being benefited from China. Shanghai, okay, which is very similar to Shangdi, the name of the Mosai, Shanghai. Okay, all the way up, all over Asia. Okay, so this is the Silk Road. And so these underground tunnels remind me of the Silk Road. The Silk Road, also called trade route linking China with the West, that carried goods and ideas between the two great civilizations of Rome and China. The silk went to the West, and wools, gold, and silver went to the East. China also received Nestorian Christianity and Buddhism. So you could go ahead and watch the video I did on the Silk Road or read a little bit about it here yourself. They talk about Marco Polo, the Mongols, the Cathay, Europe, the Black Death, the Silk Road. The Silk Road, they make a lot of money in the Silk Road. And there is a prophecy on the Silk Road. The Silk Road is going to get dismantled. The Silk Road will be no more very soon. So let's get out of there. So I was kind of thinking about the Silk Road when I was listening to when I heard the Big Judah talking about the underground tunnels. Let's go back to his video. Hold up.
The Arthurian people, Pleiadian people, and the Assyrian people came.
Shut your ass up.
So these guys knew that even about all 12 tribes, and trust me, they're aware that there was only 3 tribes.
Hold up, I don't think I'm here. This is not the video I want. Give me a second. This is what I want right here.
Many of the natives, the Incans, and they escaped, and I think they escaped carrying their yamas full of like gold and things like that. There was many things that they didn't get their hands on. I think it was the one of the books talking about Crespi and how they got away and they got into the jungles, and that's how these natives go in there now, and they come back and are bringing Crespi all of these artifacts because many, they only got some of them. There were many artifacts that are still hidden in the Amazon forest, rainforest, that they never could find.
Absolutely, they're never gonna find them. I'm gonna tell you why.
And there's many cities there that glow at night. Huge caverns they were talking about. I'm sure they're housing many of our treasures.
Yep.
That the Most High is going to give back to us.
Absolutely.
Once again.
Very soon.
And that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the Father. He's renewing our mind.
That's true.
He's renewing our spirits.
Yeah, he's awakening our soul within us.
Outside of the box. Outside of the box that we've been, constricted to.
That's true. The Father is awakening our soul within us. Right? Yahweh Shai says, wake up. You've been slumbering for too long. Stop sleepwalking. Stop sleeping on yourself. Your soul is waiting for you. Is waiting to be awakened with that secret kiss. You understand? We cannot put the Father in a box. We got to go outside of the box now. Because knowledge shall increase. Good knowledge, right? Good knowledge from the Most High. And we cannot be afraid to go into these different books, into the different realms, to extract that knowledge that's coming from the higher mind.
Don't think about this. Don't look at that. This is the history that we gave you. There's no alternative. So the Most High has opened up our minds so we can be able to receive this information. I'm sure there's many immense treasures that are still waiting for us
Yes.
in these different parts.
We're going to get into it right now.
Most High let these jungles grow up and cover many of these cities that these people are finding with LiDAR, you know, when they're flying over with their lasers, and they're finding all these huge cities that they could never see before.
Yep.
You know, and all these different remote locations. Just and now this is being brought out right now, which is now pretty much discovering, well, exposing all of the lies that the native, I mean, that the Europeans have been saying about our people. Pretty much discovering, well, exposing all of the lies that the native, I mean, that the Europeans have been saying about our people here.
Right. So before we get into the treasures, Big Judah said a line here that I want to cover real quick. He says, exposing all the lies that the European have been saying about our people. Now remember in the book of Melchizedek, the book of remembrance of Melchizedek, there is from the little book of John, okay? From the little book of John, the purpose of the voices of the seven thunders. What was that for? Okay, let's get that real quick. Let me get you that real quick. Let me read it for you from the book, so you can have that, so you can read along with me. The purpose for the seven voices of thunders. I got it in my mind, but I want to read it to you from the book right here, this page right there. Exposing the lies. Okay, page 514, little book of John, number 117. It reads, so the consequences, no, let's go further. The orange part. And the purpose of the voices of the thunders is to allow the truth to uncover the lies that the Europeans have been spreading about our people. The purpose of the voices of the thunders is to allow the truth to uncover the lies, so that agency, our free will, can come to its full. Okay? So that agency can come to the full in the lives of both the wicked and the righteous. Remember now, these are the times of Noah, and also these are the times of Enoch, where the wicked is gonna be wicked on steroids, and they're gonna be so wicked that they can no longer remain upon the earth as per the view of the Most High. And the righteous is gonna be as righteous as they can be, and they're gonna be so righteous that they cannot remain upon the earth, because they're both, the wicked and the righteous, are using their free agency to the fullness. Because of this, the voices of the thunders is to allow the truth, okay, to uncover the lies, so that agency can come to the full in the lives of both the wicked and the righteous. So what's going to happen when that happens? The wicked will lose their dominion upon the earth, and the righteous will inherit the new heaven and the new earth. Absolutely. Once the wicked are removed from the earth, and the righteous also are removed, so that the Father can bring his righteous indignation. Remember, the Most High says, or Yahweh said, he wants to bring the righteous indignation of the Most High here, but he can't do it as long as you are in the midst of the wicked. So Yahweh's view is to remove you. Remove you. Or the Most High's view is to remove you from among the wicked before he set it off to the full by fire upon the wicked. As long as you're here among the wicked, he cannot come in and destroy that town. So he may be waiting for that one family to be removed from that town. And how is he going to do it? Well, in the times of Noah, Yahweh gave power to Amenti and whoever Amenti was with to go in the different communities in Hilia, in Toa, in the city of the Mayans, to remove the righteous. So the view that he had then, he has this view now. He's still looking at the end of this cycle the same way. The wicked and the righteous live among the wicked. But for him to destroy and bring the righteous indignation to the wicked who are in violation of cosmic law, the materialists, the one who violating biological laws, and the one who are poisoning our food, the ones who went and sought out the Nephilim spirits and made a covenant with them, and they became your farmers, they became your Prisamahan, they became your doctors, okay? They became your teachers, they became, and they set up systems, they became your police officers, your judges, your lawyers, all of these wicked people. Now, I'm not saying there aren't any righteous lawyers. I'm not saying there aren't any righteous doctors. That's not what I'm saying. I'm speaking to the wicked ones. All of these wicked people, they have to be destroyed. They are in violation of cosmic law, of law and life. And the Most High have to set it off on them. But as long as you're in the midst of them, it cannot happen. Okay? So now let's go back to the video and let the big homie finish his point.
And the accomplishments and the things that were going on over here before the Europeans showed up. So let's continue. After almost every earthquake in Peru, puzzling sounds are heard. They are described as comparable to the sounds of huge boulders falling under the Earth's surface, as though dropping from the roofs of caves to the floors. The sounds frequently continue as long as 20 minutes after the quake itself, one dominant characteristic being a hollow, booming noise with apparent echoes. But reports of tunnels and caves are not limited to the Andean countries, but exist throughout the southern Americas.
Let me see.
Many ancient ruins are above man-made burrows,
That's what I want.
rest on a limestone strata honeycombed with caves. Some of these caves were apparently used as oracles. Others are said to lead to carvings deep in the bowels of the earth.
Hold up.
Because he said, you understand that the Gentiles don't come up with any of these things on their own.
I want the part with the treasures
and things like that. But I'm sure that what's underneath the earth is probably going to be very mind blowing.
Absolutely.
If we really, when we actually get this information.
Yeah, we're gonna get it now. We're gonna get it now.
Continue. Yucatan, with its lost and silent temples in the green hell. Continue. The greatest subterranean cave associated with ancient man that is known to definitely exist is the vast Lultan cave complex and the Puc Hills of central Yucatan. From the huge chamber inside the entrance, corridors lead off into various directions, like the petals of the gargantuan flower. Hence its name, Lultan, flower complexes, cities underground, cities being connected, over vast distances underground.
Hold on, let's go here.
The men display luxuriant beards. One figure is a 9-foot giant.
9-foot giant. Remember the 9-foot giant? Okay, so I forgot where I wrote down where Big Judah was talking about the treasures and stuff like that. But I remember where I have to go to address the treasures, right? So let's go to the keys of Enoch. Let's talk about those treasures that are hidden and that the Most High is going to reveal to his chosen ones, not the world, to his sons and daughters, to his children of the light. Okay? We're going to go to the keys of Enoch. Let's go to this. Before we go to exactly where I want to go, let's get another precept back here. Remember, this is the return of the land. This is the return of the dove. This land, Altia America, is a land, is the ancient land of the Nephites, okay? This land is comprised of the USA and the entire North and South America. This is Altia America. We talk about the land, all the islands, Mexico, okay, Mesoamerica. We're talking about Peru, Bolivia, Guatemala. We're talking about Belize, Haiti, DR, not DR, please. Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad, okay? Because there's no such thing as DR. Haiti is DR. DR is Haiti's one land. They just took the bag. That's all. So we talk about all these lands who are part of the land of the return of the dove, the great land of the West, who is to be the new Atlantis. Okay? America is to be the new Atlantis. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna see a whole lot of activities there's a whole lot of activity that's going to be happening in those sacred lands or in these parts of the world that have a whole lot of sacred sites. So let's go back to the first page. Who are you, beloved? You are a vehicle carrying divine knowledge throughout the universe. These are the people of the Most High. Okay, you are a divine diaspora. Okay, and you are a lamp to the that shines in the darkness. You are the salt of the earth. You are a vehicle carrying divine knowledge. That's who you are. You are a soul in the body, and you have the divine knowledge from the Most High, and you are carrying it. And the world is supposed to come to you to receive this divine knowledge. Okay? And then it says further, you are supposed to open up other expressions of intelligence, and you are supposed to redeem those expressions of intelligence in the name of Yahuwah. And the keys of the divine knowledge that you have are being transmitted to you by the order of Melchizedek. The keys of divine knowledge are being transmitted to the what? Children of the light, not to the human community. Because the human community, okay, is not the whole human community is the people of God. No, Satan has children on the earth. You can't say the people of the Most High is the evolutionary vehicle, and in verse number 1 and in verse number 2, you're gonna say that the keys of divine knowledge are transmitted to the human community. No, the human community is in violation of cosmic law. The human community is killing the children of the Most High by poisoning their food, poisoning their neighborhoods. The human community are the police. The human community are the jail system, the education system, the food industry, the music industry, the movie industry. That's the human community. This is not a human community word. This is a specific word for the children of light who carry the divine knowledge throughout the universe for the human community to come and extract from the children of the light. Okay, let's go. I want to take you straight, okay, to the treasures. But before we go to the treasures, we have to do a little review. Okay, the earth is passing through a whole lot of cataclysms right now. There's a lot of cataclysmic activities that's going to be happening. Okay, so we've already had a whole bunch of tornadoes, hurricanes, floodings all over the world. We had some type of fires, but you're going to see more fire. You're going to see fire on steroids. Another thing, you're going to see a whole lot more earthquakes. A whole lot more earthquakes is going to go throughout all the lands, especially in Mesoamerica, especially in OTR America, right here in the USA, right here all over Mexico. Mexico is due for big earthquakes, especially with the Haitians, especially with my brothers and sisters, the Haitian, the children of the Most High that went through Mexico and Texas. Texas is going to get a massive earthquake because Texas rejected the children of light. Texas rejected the children of light. Speaking of Texas rejecting the children of light, let's digress a little bit. My wife sent me something, so let me show it to you real quick. Email. Let me go to my email and see something that I received right here. Watch this. This is funny. The Most High has a huge sense of humor. Watch this. Mexico, Texas. Prepare yourself to get touched. And you're going to get touched. I guarantee you, you will. It's done. It's been decided. Okay, watch this. Del Rio camp cleared at last. The remaining migrants. Okay, how many did they clear? Watch this. After several days of living in squalid conditions under the Del Rio Bridge, the last remaining quote-unquote migrants, the last remaining divine diasporas departed a makeshift camp there just before noon local time on Friday. How many they removed? They removed 14,000. At times, the number topped 14,000. How many remain? Early Friday morning, Bruno Lozano, the mayor of Del Rio, Texas, told CNN 144 divine diaspora remain. So you go ahead and remove 14,000 and you left the 144. I mean, damn, the Most High got a sense of humor. The Most High is telling you, no matter what you do, you can't remove the children of light from their own land. This is just a play on word. But the keys of Enoch said something very important. Let me show you what the keys of Enoch says. You see, when these things are happening, not everybody will be able to see them. The keys of Enoch says this. The keys of Enoch says something very, very important and is very telling. I'm going to take you there real quick. Let me show you, and then we're going to get right into the treasures. The keys of Enoch says something very interesting. When I was reading it, it says this on number 8, key 215, page 305. It says this. These are timepieces containing star mathematics. Now, it's talking about the star mathematics timepieces over here, which I haven't talked about. But there is a line here that goes perfectly with when you see things like this, right? It says, they cannot be completely understood by men without the scriptures which reveal specific events on the earth. You see that? Whenever you see something like this happen, they remove 14,000, they leave the 144. You see, you have to know scriptures to understand what is being happening. There is something deeper happening that the world does not know. But the children of light, the few, we know because we are connected like that. So let's go straight into the keys of Enoch, keys 215, page 305. Let's see. Let's talk about these treasures that Big Judah mentioned that are underneath the ground, beneath the ground, that the world of the materialists want so bad to access, but they can't access that treasure. They can't. Let me show you why. I'm gonna read you the scriptures, and you're gonna see for yourself that they cannot access these things no matter what they do. Let's number 1. Key number 15 tells the children of light, that's you. It tells you to look at the ancient megalithic sites at Teotihuacan, Palenque, and Tiwanako, the Tarim Basin, Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid, and the Sea of Galilee to see the round numbers, the calculations of star mathematics, which are part of the greater astrophysical geometry. You know what? Let me stop right here. I gotta go back to Big Judah video and get the part where he was talking about Tiwanako. Let's see. I think it's around 7 or so. Let's see.
Before the Spanish even got here. What other things do you think are stuck under, they're hidden underneath,
Let's,
the land?
A little bit backward to see.
Or something like that. But it was some underground tunnel that went from one part of the world to another. And I totally believe that they have things like this. I know they have, we got tunnels all over the Americas, and they make it sound as if, the people here, recently built all these tunnels. But it seems as if many of these things were already in existence before the Spanish even got here.
Absolutely.
What other things do you think are stuck under, they're hidden
treasures
underneath?
They cannot get to. Treasures.
And I know many of us have heard and seen videos of these huge caverns underground and things like that. We've heard of their deep underground military bases, the domes.
We just covered that.
I think a lot of that was already here.
Mm-hmm.
And to talk about that actually a little bit more, we're going to listen to it a little bit more. But so you hear about things like that. You hear about underground bases under the ocean.
Mm-hmm. Cities of light.
Things like that. I think there were many, like I said, there were many aspects to our people and many accomplishments that have been hidden. There are certain things on top of the land, with the pyramids, things like that, are easy to be seen. But they talk about many huge complexes underneath the pyramids. And then we're going to read about a little bit of that right now. Let's continue here. Alan Landsberg visited Tiwanako while producing the Jacques Cousteau television documentary on Lake Titicaca.
Mm-hmm.
He observed an artificial ridge around an enclosure, approximately 4,000 square yards. I hear that the Bolivian government plans to dig there, he writes. It may find nothing, although there are said to be Incan legends of a honeycomb of tunnels at Tiwanako.
Tiwanako, Lake Titicaca. Okay, I found it. All praises to the Most High. So in Key 215, number 1, it says, the children of light, which is you, family, look to the ancient megalithic sites at Teotihuacan, Palenque, and Tiwanako. Look to Tarim Basin. Look to Stonehenge. Look to the Great Pyramid and the Sea of Galilee to see the round numbers, the calculations of star mathematics. So when we start to look into these sacred sites, they're going to start telling us a story. Okay? All these sites have a story to tell the children of light. What is this story? Number 2, these and other astrophysical sites are points of contact with the greater universes. These sites and others, they are point of contact with the other or the greater universes. Number 3, these round numbers show where the lords of light came down from the heavens of the chilocosm or the greater universes to interact with the peoples of the earth. So you mean to tell me the ancient megalithic sites that we as the children of light need to look to, which includes Teotihuacan, Palenque, Tiwanako, the Tarim Basin, Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid, the Sea of Galilee, and other sites. These are sites where the Lord of Light came down open from the heavens as what? As points of contact from the greater universe to interact with you and I. That's exactly what it says. It says the fire letters of the Hebrew and Tibetan scriptures revealed in the mountains give a cosmology. What is a cosmology? A cosmology is a science of origin and development of the universe. These fire letters of the Hebrew and Tibetan scriptures revealed in the mountains give what? Give a origin, a science, a development of the universe. They give a view of the light, which shows by means of universal models the worlds. Okay, they give you another understanding. The world to which the people of the Most High will be taken after they have fulfilled their divine diaspora journey upon the earth. So we got to go to these sites and we got to know what these fire letters are, these Hebrew fire letters. So I have been to Stonehenge. This picture right here, my wife and I, this occurred. We took this picture in Connecticut, Stonehenge. So let's go to Stonehenge. Let's go back to Connecticut, Stonehenge real quick. Let's take a quick trip to Connecticut, Stonehenge, which has Hebrew fire letters, which tells me a story, which is a point where the Lords of Light came as a point of contact. So this is me sitting down at the center of Stonehenge, and all these stones behind me, these are Hebrew fire letters, and they're telling me something. And this right here was a place where the Lords of Light came down in their chariots or whatever they came here, use whatever vehicle they came down upon. They came there to communicate with the children of light. So what I'm doing right here is very symbolic. Okay, what I'm doing right here was being noted in the book of life. Everything that my wife and I and my children was doing at Stonehenge, wherever we went praying, it was being noted in the book of life. Okay, I'm gonna show you. These are fire letters. These are words. These are Hebrew words. Okay, these are the fire letters of the Hebrew alphabet that tells a story. According to the keys of Enoch, we must look to Stonehenge, to Teotihuacan, Palenque, the Tarim Basin, Tiwanako. What's the other word? Tiwanako, whatever the hell that word is. Let me see. Let's get that. Because it's so close to Teotihuacan, you could get it jacked up. We gotta look to these places right there to actually understand what is going on right now with these locations. Okay, right there. I think it's this in this page right here, page number 1. Tiwanako. Okay, so let's go into the let's look at Hebrew Hebrew fire letters. Hebrew fire letters. So these Hebrew fire letters, of course, is the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, this is the Hebrew alphabet. These are called Hebrew fire letters. So there's a book on the letters of fire. Okay, if you're interested in getting this book, you could go ahead and get it to learn more about what's going on here. So I recognize this one as Stonehenge. Let's go to the alphabet right here. This one, where's the alphabet? Alphabet right there. There is a stone at Stonehenge my wife was leaning upon that looked just like this one right here. This is called Chet. Let me see. This is for Aries. It's for sight. It's for seeing. Okay? Sight, seeing. What's the name of it? What's the name of it? This one. Okay, let me see. I'm going to show you these letters. They're all over Stonehenge. They're all over Stonehenge. Yes, of course. Because it tells us to look to these sites. Okay. This one. This one. My wife was leaning on one like this. Chet. Fence. Chet. Chet. Okay. This one right here. So it tells a story. All these letters combined together is a written story. Okay, so let's go to the pictures. Let's find out later. It's right here in these pictures. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna show you right now. Okay. Let me see. I'm gonna show you. Give me a second. These are other ones. These are other ones. This is telling me something. It's telling us a story. These are other ones. These are all fire letters. Everything is in a row. From a distance, it's a straight line. But when you get in front of it, everything is very distant from one another. But you cannot tell. See, this is it right here. See that right there? This one right here is one of the Hebrew fire letters that we noticed from the Hebrew alphabet, right? I believe Gina Paul had left a comment on this one. So it's telling us to look to these sites. Okay? So let me put you guys onto something. This is called the Holy Spirit stone. Stonehenge. From the book, I have the book Jesus the Druid, all right? It talks about Stonehenge being an exact replica of the throne of God. At the entrance of Stonehenge, you will find these two stones right here. This is called the Holy Spirit stone. When you think about that, it makes sense. Who sits at the gate? Wisdom sits at the gate. So you're gonna find these two stones here that is at the very entrance of Stonehenge. And if you are smart, you pass through it. You pay reverence. You pass through the stones to get into Stonehenge because you're passing through the portal. You're passing through wisdom to get into Stonehenge. So there is the Yahushai stones. There's the wisdom stone and all kinds of stone. I'll do another video and talk about that further. Okay, so these are the Hebrew fire letters. Let me show you another one. So this is a fire letter right here. Okay, this is actually an angel. So this is actually Angel Michael. This is a representation of Melchizedek, Angel Michael. Hopefully I'll get to that scripture and I'll show you why I say that. Because it's actually in the keys of Enoch. These are all fire letters. These are all Hebrew fire letters right here. The way it's set up, everything here tells a story, a point of contact where the ancient lords of light came down to interact with the sons of men. Not the sons of men, the children of light. So this is what it was. Okay? Even this sacred site over here, this is in Seymour, Connecticut. Let me see if I can get you just the stone by itself. Seymour, Connecticut. Seymour at Seymour. You already see. In this book, it talks about Stonehenge. In this book, in the back of the book. All right? If you have this book, go read about Stonehenge and other stuff that will blow your mind. I just haven't had the time to bring it out. It's very interesting stuff. So let me show you something here. We're going to go back. We're going to go back to the scriptures because I got to get this out. So much to cover. And I don't want to delay, make too much deviations. Okay? So let me go back to the scriptures real quick. To the keys of Enoch. And there are scriptures, by the way. So what page was I in? I was in page number 1. Now let's go. I'm gonna take you straight. I'm gonna take you straight to the Tiwanako, Teotihuacan, Lake Titicaca. I'm gonna take you straight to the treasures. We gotta go to page 312, key 215. This sacred region within the head of the dove was known as the region of Zarahemla, the home of the brotherhood. This is the location where you're going to find the treasures of heaven. This is where all the treasures are that these people can never get to. So in the video, Big Judah said the guy wanted to go and dig there. Okay? Let's hear that again.
He observed an artificial ridge around an enclosure, approximately 4,000 square yards. I hear that the Bolivian government plans to dig there, he writes. It may find nothing, although there are said to be Incan legends of a honeycomb of tunnels at Tiwanako and of great vertical shafts.
He may find nothing, okay? Honeycomb tunnels at Tiwanako. He wants to go and dig. He's not going to find nothing because he's not supposed to. It's not for him. Watch this. This sacred region, okay, within the head of the dove was known as the region of Zarahemla. Now, do a Google search on the land of Zarahemla in 359. Yahweh says, that great city Zarahemla have I burnt with fire. He destroyed these cities because the people of the city became to have pride. When you go into the second stick, the book of Jacob, Yahweh said these people begin to wax old in iniquity. They start to be prideful. They started to look down upon their brethren because they had gold. They had all kinds of artifacts. They had clothing. They had everything. They started to look at others like, oh, you don't have as much as I have. Look at you. I have better. I have more than you. I'm better than you. So Yahweh was telling them in the book of Jacob to repent. Stop doing that. But in 359, he destroyed everybody. On top of that, they were killing the prophets that the Mosai was sending to them to preach the word, and they didn't want to hear it. Like Abinadi, they killed and murdered Abinadi, and Abinadi cursed them when he was in front of King Noah. Okay, and he was trying to tell them that listen, y'all gotta shape it up. The Mosai sent me to let you know before you sink your battleship. They went ahead and killed Abinadi. So let's go. The sacred region within the head of the dove was known as the region of Zarahemla. Now, see, I have to deviate. There's so much to show you. I cannot go on without showing you Zarahemla. Zarahemla and Atlantis. Zarahemla and Atlantis. Look, I didn't want to show you Zarahemla and Atlantis. I just want to show you Zarahemla. I want to show you a map of Zarahemla. Zarahemla covers right here. This is the map. It's Moroni's America. Okay? The land of Zarahemla starts right here in the USA and it goes all the way up to South America. The land of Zarahemla is all over Utah, Iowa, Missouri, Kentucky, all these lands, and it crossed over the Pacific Ocean all the way to Peru, Bolivia, Guatemala. Always sure. Now show me the map now. Stop playing around. Missouri, whatever, baby. You know Missouri. You know how it is. Choose your Missouri. That's the book I have. All right, this is taking a long time to load, family. Forgive me. This is taking a long time to load. Let's see if I could get it somewhere else. Moroni's America. Oh, look at my book, The Children of Moon. Moroni's America. Let's see if we could bring it back up. Wow. The internet is acting up. I have pages up that's not being loaded. This is crazy stuff. Oh man. All right. So I wanted to show you this map right here to show you how they have. Okay, just look it up yourself. Okay, some great books down here you could look at too. You know, these people, they show you all the books. The land of Zarahemla is from right here in the USA, and it stretches all across South America. Hopefully this one will come up. Okay, let's see. The land of the Nephites, the Lamanites. You see Florida here. You see the land of Zarahemla, Mulek, the land of Bountiful, the land northward. You see Arkansas. Okay, over here you see Mississippi, Michigan, Wisconsin, Cumara. This is where Joseph Smith went to, and the mountain opened up to him, and he received the gold plates for the Book of Mormon. Over there, right there. So, this is Zarahemla right here to the left. Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the land of Nephi in the middle, Tennessee, Atlanta, Alabama, Kentucky, West Virginia, okay? And over here to the coast, you have the also land of Nephi, land of Zarahemla is in the yellow. You have First Inheritance over here in the coast, New York, Connecticut, Washington, Delaware, New Jersey, all kinds of stuff. When you get a little chance, just look up the land of Zarahemla, and you're going to see the beautiful things that you're going to find. So the head of the dove, which land stretched out all the way to South America, was known as the region of Zarahemla. Within this head of the dove, the home of the brotherhood, this home connected the vast energy network of Chichen Itza and Palenque with Oaxaca and the energy complex of Teotihuacan. So there is an energy network in the head of the dove which connects Chichen Itza, Palenque, Oaxaca, and Teotihuacan. The most sacred grid in this area is the triangle formed from Palenque to Cerro Rabon in the west and Palenque to Chichen Itza in the east. So let me show you how that looks like. So when you go to the next page over, you're gonna see it. Okay, hold up. Let me see. Okay, so right here, watch this. So in this triangle, you see the big triangle right there. It starts from Sierra Rabon in Tres Zapatos. It goes to Chichen Itza, and it goes down to Guatemala City, Caminaruju. Now within this big triangle, you have a smaller one. Tres Zapatos, Sierra Rabon to Palenque to Chichen Itza. This is the most sacred part, the most important part in the head of the dove. This is where it's gonna go down. This is where it will happen again. This is where the treasures of heaven are hidden. Let me show you. I'm gonna read it for you right now. Watch this. It is at Serarabon that the treasures of heaven are placed as the seal of authority upon the crystal models located within the head of the dove. Where is the treasures of heaven are placed? At Sierra Rabon, which is at the head of the dove. Sierra Rabon is right here in Tres Zapatos. Okay? Oaxaca is down below. This is over the Gulf of Mexico. This is the head of the dove. So if we come out of here and we go back to this picture down here, and we're looking at the head of the dove, and we could see this location right here. This is the region right there. This is the head of the dove in Central America. You have Panama City, Costa Rica. You have Mexico City over there, Oaxaca, Teotihuacan, Palenque, Guatemala. This is why you're gonna see a whole lot of activities going in these locations, because these sites are being reactivated. They are being reactivated. Okay, when they're being reactivated, a whole lot of things gonna happen upon the earth, and also with you. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna read it for you, but I just want to read too much because there's so much to cover in this chapter. I'm gonna skip around to show you what I really want to show you. I want to show the treasures of heaven. I'm gonna show you why they cannot get to the treasures of heaven, which is located in the head of the dove. Okay, the place where the guy wanted to dig, but he's not gonna find nothing. There, number 42. The treasures in the heavens are attached to the earth by the order of Melchizedek. And the seal of Melchizedek is seen as the 9 pyramids interlocking to form a Star of David. So the treasures of heaven, which are placed as the seal of authority upon the crystal modes located within the head of the dove, which is found at Serarabon, are attached to the earth by the order of Melchizedek. And there's also the seal of Melchizedek on it. So they can go ahead and dig all they want. All they're gonna find is empty tunnels. They're not gonna find the treasures of heaven, the real treasures that the Father put there for his children of light. They're not gonna find it. But how come we don't have it? Let me show you why we don't have it yet. These treasures are distributed through these grades of consciousness, transplanting that have been selected, setting on each plot on the earth. These treasures, they're distributed throughout these grades upon the earth, okay, as nestings, okay, waiting for the development and the ripening of the human world of consciousness. So hold up, let's rephrase that. These treasures are distributed throughout the earth through these grades, waiting for you to wake the hell up, waiting for your soul to be awakened within you, not for the world consciousness, waiting for the children of the light consciousness to develop and ripen. They are waiting for you to wake up. So this is the time of the Melchizedek. This is the time of the return of the dove. This is the end, y'all. This is the time where you wake up. Just wake the hell up. Just wake up. Wake up so that the Father can download this information in your mind. So then, when these energy grids are opened, okay, when these geomagnetic grids are open and these energies coming from the earth, they can hit you and you can wake up with information. Your whole body will change. Your DNA will change. It's all about changing your DNA, taking you back, taking you from where you at, taking you further into where you should be. Let's keep reading, okay? Your entire being will change when these things happen. Number 43, another important grade complex that is used by the Brotherhood of Light is this. In conjunction with the restoration of the land of the dove, is found in the pyramidal complex of Peru and Bolivia. So Peru and Bolivia have a pyramidal complex. Peru and Bolivia, middle complex. Let's see what comes up. Okay? Yeah, that's what I meant. Get me there. Tiwanako and Lake Titicaca are revealed. Let's go. Let's see if you could bring that. Okay, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. Peru and Bolivia pyramidal complex. Let me see. Let's see what comes up on the first one. Nah, it's not what I want. I want to show you something that I saw earlier. Peru and Bolivia right here. Not quite like this, but it's close enough. Okay, so you have Peru, and you have to the left, you have Bolivia, and you have, I think in the map that I was looking at earlier, you had Cusco. Okay, you had that beautiful city, Cusco, and you had other cities that were there. There's a major pyramidal network complex over there in that area. Look at this beautiful land. Okay, what's underneath this land? Geomagnetic grids, chambers, tunnels, okay? Treasures of heaven, artifacts, okay? And this church is built on top of dolmen, a menhir, a healing chamber. This is the trip we need to take, family. If you have money, take your trip here. Go to this location. Go to Peru, go to Machu Picchu, go to Cusco. Go to Guatemala and walk all over these places where ancient sites. Go to Lima, Puno, La Paz, Sacred Valley of Ollantaytambo, Puerto Maldonado, the Amazon jungle. My neighbor just left the Amazon jungle. He went there for 2 weeks. These are the trips you need to take. Cusco right here. See, these are the land of the return of the dove. This is Mesoamerica. These are lands filled with sacred sites. This is where we need to go. This is Zarahemla. It stretches all the way down to that location. Okay? When you're looking at Zarahemla, Atlantis, you get a whole different type of history. This land in 359 was the land that Yahweh Shai came and destroyed. All these lands he destroyed. That great city Zarahemla have I burnt with fire. That city Buga, whatever the hell its name is, have I caused to be sunk in the sea. that the city Jacob have I burnt with fire and everybody in it. He was talking about the destruction of Atlantis. The Holy Spirit gave me that. If you disagree, so be it. Now let's go. Number 43. Read that one more time. Another important great complex is used by the Brotherhood of Light in conjunction with the restoration of the land is the one found in Peru and Bolivia. Here, the pyramidal complexes are important. That are important are the 25 pyramids of Apurli. There are 25 pyramids between Peru and Bolivia. These are the most important ones within the head of the dove. The 25 pyramids found in Apurli. The pyramidal network and astrophysical stations found at Morro Solar. The pyramidal grades at Cajamaraquilla and Pachacamac in the desert mountains of Peru. The pyramidal sets at Chanque and Jequete Peque in Viru. Jequete Peque, like Zizereke Telebab. Jequete Peque at Peru. These are all pyramidal complex, which we're going to see a lot of activities happening in these places. Why? Because these grids have to open up. This is the Melchizedek. Remember, the treasures of heaven are placed there by the order of Melchizedek. They are placed there by the order of Melchizedek. And who is the CEO of the order of Melchizedek? Yahawashai. And who is the angel Melchizedek? Well, Melchizedek is who we know as Shem. Shem was his nickname. His real name was Melchizedek. And in the natural, before he came upon the earth, he was Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is who we call Melchizedek on the earth. His real name is Melchizedek. Shem was a nickname that they give him to protect his true identity from the wicked. Archangel Michael is Melchizedek. And who is in charge of the order of Melchizedek? Yahawashai. So let's read this over. Number 42. There, where in Serarabon the treasures of heaven are found, they are placed there as the seal of authority. Who placed it? Who placed it there? It is the treasures of heaven at Serarabon in the head of the dove are placed there by Yahawashai. He runs the order of Melchizedek. And he put the seal of Melchizedek there. But who stands there with his seal and with all his sons of light, all his warring angels, all these protecting angels at those sites? Archangel Michael. So when we go back to Stonehenge and you see this big old megalithic stone right here that I was standing next to with the oil, anointing the stone. This stone looks like a chief right here. This stone, I believe, represents Archangel Michael in the spirit, in the natural. This is not just a stone. This is the entity. But remember, this is a place of contact where the laws of light came to intermingle with the sun, with the children of light. So when you look at something like this, look at the bottom of that right there. Look at that face right there. Look at that right there. Okay, this looks like a vehicle right here. This looks like a vehicle, but this is a Hebrew fire letter. It looks like a bird in flight, but it's actually a Hebrew fire letter and it tells a story. I believe this is Archangel Michael over there. Okay? Now, since I'm here, let's read this. The words of Goko Haram III, page 33, Wanaki. It says, now behold, listen and learn a great mystery of life. Learn how to determine a godly lifestyle and a clean heart. Those of you who are in the midst of a wicked world, awake and behold the knowledge of the Most High in the last days. Family, do you believe that this is the knowledge of the Most High in the last days? Or do you know? Because you got to get from your belief to knowing. You cannot believe in God anymore. It is not enough for you to believe in the Most High anymore. You can't get away with just believing in the Most High anymore. Your relationship should be so solid right now that you know the Most High. It is about the knowing the Most High. It's either you know or you don't know. That's why Yahweh says, I'm going to vomit you out. I'm going to spit you out because you lukewarm. Yahweh says, I wish that you were cold or hot. Either you cold or you hot. You can't be lukewarm. The hell with your belief. Do you know now? Do you know what time it is? That's why I said, family, you know who you are. No more remember who you are. No, you got to leave from remembering to knowing. Now you know who you are. Who are you? You are a vehicle carrying divine knowledge. Who are you? You are the children of the light. Who are you? You are the sons and the daughters of the Most High power, sent here by the Most High with a mark on your forehead to receive his commands directly. Who are you? You are a divine diaspora, celestial 12 tribes. Who are you? You were created in the presence of the Most High in the kingdom of lights in Elder. You are the seed of Jacob. You are chosen. You are set apart. Who are you? A lamp. Who are you? The salt of the earth. This is who you are. A great army for the Most High. Okay? You are armed with a sword. The double-edged sword, which is the word of light, of life. The words of the Most High is your sword. That's who you are, family. Wake the hell up. Let's go back to the scriptures. In the sacred scroll from the keys of Enoch. Get you a copy. So when these grids are open up, what happens? I'm going to show you what's happening right now. I'm going to show you what's happening right now. Let's go back to the treasures of heaven. The treasures of heaven are placed there by Yahweh Shai, and Archangel Michael is guarding these with his seal under the order of Melchizedek. Period. Nothing else. They can go ahead and dig. They're not going to find nothing. Let's go. Number 43. Number 45. These are all astronomical calendrical complexes connected with Tiwanako. Tiwanako is the city of the Lords of Light, and it was built at sea level during a previous cycle, and it was heaped up to its present altitude of 13,000 feet above sea level. It contains the gate threshold, describing the work of Melchizedek, who shall return at the end of this cycle of time and open the treasury of Tiwanako. Who's gonna open the treasury of Tiwanako? Archangel Michael, Melchizedek. They can go ahead and dig. They're not gonna find nothing. Let's get that one more time.
Find nothing, although there are said to be or easily to be seen. But they talk about many huge complexes underneath the pyramids. And then we're going to read about a little bit of that right now. Let's continue here. Alan Landsberg visited Tiwanako while producing the Jacques Cousteau television documentary on Lake Titicaca. He observed an artificial ridge around an enclosure, approximately 4,000 square yards. I hear that the Bolivian government plans to dig there, he writes. It may find nothing, although there are said to be Incan legends of a honeycomb of tunnels at Tiwanako and of great vertical shafts. Any subterranean chambers at Tiwanako may have long since collapsed or filled with dirt. Still, the solid evidence of that 4,000-yard earthworks seems meaningful. Another legend is that Tupac Amaru, the Incan leader, with several thousand soldiers and refugees in 1533, escaped through tunnels east of Cusco from Pizarro and his men, a route leading into the unexplored jungle territory of northern Bolivia. Now, I've read about things like that.
Okay, so now you heard this Tupac Amaru Inca warrior escaping through a tunnel in Cusco, underground tunnels. Now we know the treasures of heaven and everything like that. So we're going to leave this right here, and we're going to go and cover another video real quick. I have something to share with you with Christopher Columbus. So it was a pleasure with this one. Let's go to the second one.
She takes a picture, and in that picture is this ET.
Next one.
So these guys knew that even about all 12 tribes. And trust me, they're aware that there was only 3 tribes, 2 to 3 tribes over in, the 3 parts.
Let me see. Hold up.
Or so trust me, they're aware that there was only.
Let's go back. I forgot where I was. Let's go back.
But that doesn't fit the narrative of the Earth or the world here. They
see.
Fast from this book, American Indian Myths and Mysteries, and how it's confirming things that we've been teaching for the last few years. The chapter we're going to get into right now deals with Columbus.
Columbus.
And we have the Columbus Book of Prophecies where he tells you himself through scripture that he knew that he was coming over here to fulfill prophecies.
Yes, Columbus knew exactly where he was coming to fulfill prophecy. And I have something to share with you tonight that's going to bring more light to this subject.
But that doesn't fit the narrative of the earth or the world here. They wanted to make it seem like he was happened to come over here on accident, and there's all these people here, and he didn't know who they were, and they misnamed them Indians because they thought he was from India, and all this other stuff. And that he was the first person that found these lands, and we know that that was not true. Our people had been, trading and going back and forth for thousands of years before Columbus. And this book, this chapter here, Columbus was late, is going to prove that right now. Instead of being hailed as the first discoverer of the Americas, Christopher Columbus should be credited for renewing interest in it.
Renewing interest.
Many scholars now hold that he was well aware of the existence of the New World.
Yes, he was.
As Robert Graves has said, quite likely, he had a map.
He had a map. Let's step right there. Columbus had a map. Okay? Instead of being hailed as the first discoverer of the Americas, he knew he was not. Columbus himself would never have wanted to be credited with the discoverer of America. He knew the facts. He knew that America was being sailed thousands of years before by other races of people. He knew that himself. Okay? So whoever came up with that lie, they should just go ahead with all that. Okay, Columbus should be credited for renewing interest in it. But let me show you why. He had a map. Columbus had a map. Okay, let's go to this map. It's gonna get so clear for you right now. Watch this. Let's get out of here. Let's go to this book. Let's go down here. I'm gonna take you to another book. Let's go to the Lost Pirates and the Lost Templar Fleet. The secret naval war between the Knights Templar and the Vatican. Let's go to this book real quick. Okay? This page, I'm not going to read all these things for you at all. I'm not going to read none of that. I'm just going to leave it here, take a picture and read it. I'm just going to read you a line from here. Page 195. Columbus would have known about the legends of the 7 cities of gold across the Atlantic. Columbus would have known about the legend of the 7 cities of gold across the Atlantic. The story of the 7 cities of gold goes back to the 8th century Spain. In the year 711, when the Moorish forces under the General Tariq descended in the Roman Empire and defeated Clovis in 507. All right, so what I wanted you to get from here that is the legends of the 7 cities of gold. Columbus would have known about the legends of the 7 cities of gold across the Atlantic. If you want to know more about it, read these 2 pages. Let's go further. Page 197. When Columbus reached the islands of Cuba and Haiti, it would seem fit the description of the legendary landfall of Antilla or Atla, okay, Antilla, whatever they want to say here. It would seem to fit the description of the legendary landfall of Antilla. If you go back to the 7 cities of gold across the Atlantic, it was the story of the Antilla. We're not going to talk about it. Go read that right there. Columbus, okay, was he in fact sailing directly for them? We'll find out. Columbus' friend and first biographer Peter said, Columbus believed himself to have found the land of Ophir in 1511. He said that. But the descriptions of the cosmographers, now Columbus didn't say that in 1511. Peter said that in 1511. Columbus believed himself to have found the land of Ophir. But the descriptions of the cosmographers considered it seemed that both of these and the other islands adjoining are the island of Antilla. After Columbus discovered abundant gold mines on the island of Haiti, he wrote that he had taken into possession for their Spanish majesties Mount Socorro or Mount Ophir, which it took King Solomon's ships 3 years to reach. So Columbus said he found the land of Ophir, Mount Socorro, and he's taking possession of it. And he said, oh, it took King Solomon's ships 3 years to reach this place. Here we see Columbus had no problem believing that the gold mines on Haiti were worked by ancient Jewish or ancient Jews and Phoenician seafarers circa 1000 BC. This is why it said Columbus should not be accredited for discovering America. Hell no. Instead of being hailed as the first discoverer of the Americas, Christopher Columbus should be credited for renewing interest in it. Okay, let's go back. He had a map. We'll get to the map. So Columbus knew that the Americas were already being, those gold mines on Haiti were already being worked on by the Jews and the Phoenician seafarers going back 1000 BC. In his excellent book on Forgotten Places on the Old Maps, this is the name of the book, Forgotten Places in Old Maps, no longer on the map. The historian Raymond Ramsey says that Columbus' relative Bartolome confirms the identification of Haiti and that Columbus believed himself to have found the land of Ophir, from which King Solomon's ships had fetched gold for the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. Let's go further. Given the above discussion, it starts to become evident that Columbus had a certain amount of knowledge of land across the sea before he set out to cross it. Absolutely. The question remains, though, is, as it is often seems to be these days, is how much knowledge did he know? How much did he know? And when did he know it? Okay, so now we're going to read on. The Amazing Chart Room, page 198. According to a number of authors, including Charles Berlitz, Columbus was a veritable treasure house of navigational knowledge. Okay? According to this guy. One day they saw two men dead, sailing, floating in a long, narrow boat, washed up on the shore of Ireland. Could be Asian or Chinese. Anderson says he's bravely sailing out into the uncharted seas preposterous. On his well-known trip to Iceland in 1477, he would surely have heard of Norse, okay? On Christopher Columbus' travels in 1477, on his trip to Iceland, he would surely have heard of Norse voyages over the centuries. He had access to multitude of maps. Columbus had access to multitude of maps, as extensively documented by Interline in the book Viking America. Norse author Pritz shows that Columbus' maps was almost certainly based on the famed 1424 map drawn in Venice. Now, this map that was drawn in Venice in 1424 is now in the library of the University of Minnesota. Columbus was born and grew up in Majorca, a hood, a center for smugglers and pirates. He was born in the hood, and for map makers, including his own brother Bartholomew. Columbus was born in the hood. He was born among pirates, smugglers, and map makers. And his brother was one. Listen to this. We're going to get into the map. It's going to blow your mind. This Pritz author, in a letter dated in August 17, 1974, said this: "My conclusion about America's rediscovery is this. Vinland voyages became familiar in Europe in 1070 via Adam of Bremen. And in the next 100 years, the whole of Europe was familiar with these trips. A series of maps were drawn with the Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, and Puerto Rico, etc. But the map makers who draw these maps of Haiti, Cuba, Bahamas, and Puerto Rico, and etc. didn't know the correct latitudes. So they placed these islands west of Ireland. The name Vinland was written Benini or Isla Bini. You see what happened? They had a map, but they had the wrong latitude, the wrong longitude. This is why Christopher Columbus knew exactly where he was going, because he knew that Haiti, Cuba, Bahamas, Puerto Rico could not be in Ireland. He knew because he was already going over there. He knew he could not be over there in Venice or in Iceland. He was already taking trips over there. But he had a map going back to 1424 that was drawn in Venice. But his map didn't have the correct latitude or longitude. So what he do? He kept it in his back pocket. So what happened? Columbus obtained old maps, especially one prepared by a certain Andrea Bianco in 1436. What did he do with it? He took that map. He went to Iceland in 1477 for more detailed indications. What happened there? When he got to Iceland, he received America's correct latitude. Christopher Columbus, when he got to Iceland in 1477, he received America's correct latitude and longitude, and a number of place names of the stretch all the way from Florida Keys to Boston. So it wasn't until 1477 Columbus received the correct map with the correct longitude, with the correct latitude. So Christopher Columbus, armed with this map, is about to fulfill the legends of the 7 cities of gold across the Atlantic. So when he finally landed to Haiti, he knew exactly where he was going. This is why he knew that he had found Ophir, the land which took Solomon's ships 3 years to reach. He knew exactly. So what happened after he got this map? Columbus knew exactly where he should look for the islands. Of course, he was armed with the map that had the correct latitude and longitude. And the land he sought, he knew exactly where to find it. And he held a direct course. He gave orders to his captain to sail 2,800 miles towards the west. This is why in 1 Nephi 13 he says this. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to take you on a quick deviation. 1 Nephi 13. I pray this is making sense to you. 1 Nephi 13, let's go all the way down to verse 12. 1 Nephi, verse 12 and 13. And I looked and I beheld a man among the Gentiles who was separated among the Gentiles. This man was separated from the seed of my brethren by the many waters. And I beheld the Spirit of the Most High, that he came down and wrought upon the man. And he went forth upon the many waters, even unto the seed of my brethren, who were in the promised land. The promised land, the 7 cities of gold. Haiti, Bahamas, Cuba, Puerto Rico, etc., etc. I beheld the Spirit of the Most High came down and wrought upon the man. And he went forth, hallelujah. He went forth upon the many waters, even unto the seed of my brethren, who were in the promised land. And it came to pass that I beheld the Spirit of the Most High, that he wrought upon other Gentiles. So we're not going to read that. Now check this out. Why did I read that? I read that for this. Columbus sailed 28,000 miles or 2,800 miles toward the west to find the land of promise. Okay, let me take you somewhere. Hold on tight, family. Let's make this all make sense right now. Why did Columbus sail 2,800 miles? You're about to find out. You're about to find out right now. Let's get it. Let's get Hebrew file letter number 28. Let's get Hebrew file letter 28. Remember, he sailed 2,800 miles right after he received the maps with the correct longitude and correct latitude. Let me open my book, and I want to get this right. Hebrew number 28 is what? Hebrew number 28 is leading of the Spirit. Go back to 1 Nephi 12. Leading of the Spirit. Would you say that Christopher Columbus was being led by the Holy Spirit at this time? Yes, he was. Okay? He was. Because it confirmed in the fact that he sailed 2,800 miles to the west. 28. Leading of the Spirit. 1 Nephi 12. And I beheld and looked a man among the Gentiles. This man was separated from the seed of my brethren by the many waters. And I beheld the Spirit of God that he came down and wrought upon the man. And he went forth upon the many waters. How far? 2,800 miles. That's how far he went. What is 28 in Hebrew? Kaf checked. Leading of the Spirit. Now let me give you something to think about. My wife told me this today. Watch this. It's about to get crazy right now. Watch this. 28 is leading of the Spirit. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Before I go there, let's go to 14. Before I give you something to think about before I leave you tonight, let's go to 14. I'm going to leave something on your lap to think about and consider and ponder upon your higher self. 14 is deliverance. 14 times 2 is leading of the Spirit, which is 28. 14 is deliverance, release. Remember, I took you in the beginning. I took you to the people who let the Haitian people go. 14,000 of them, but they left the 144. Right? They released 14,000, which is deliverance and release. They released 14,000, but they left the 144. The Most High is telling you, you can't remove the 144. Whatever you do, they're on the land. If they will go back to Haiti, they're home. If they went to Mexico, they're home. If you open your doors for them in the USA, they are still home. But here's the thing. If you kick them out, you sink your own battleship. Okay, let's go back here. Number 14 is deliverance and release. Number 28 is leading of the Spirit. Columbus traveled 2,800 miles to the promised land. He was being led by the Spirit. Now check this out. There are 28 days assigned to us, the Hebrews, and they call it Black History Month. Think about this. Black History Month have 28 days in it. Why do they want to do that? Let's break it down. You'll never grieve the fact that you have Black History Month again. I mean, damn, every day is our history. But pay attention to this. Watch this. 28 is associated with Black History Month. Why? Because the Hebrews, according to this place, to this country, we are the few. We only quote unquote 13%. Okay, let's go with that narrative. The Hebrews are the few. Okay? Those among us that are repented. Those that have awakened. Those among us who are not sleeping on themselves. Those who have their spirit open to receive the Holy Spirit. We are awake. Still awakening. We are being led by the Holy Spirit. Kafshet 28. We are being led by the Spirit because we are the few. So 28 is leading by the Spirit. They tell you Black History Month is your month. It has 28 days. So as the Hebrews, it's a Hebrew fire letter, meaning leading of the Spirit. So you are being led by the Spirit. But watch this. Every 4 years, the month of February has a leap year. Every 4 years, the month of February has 29 days. Every 4 years, there's a 29th day for the month of February, which is called a leap year. And do you know when is the next leap year coming for the month of January? Well, the next, Thank you. For the month of February, the next leap year coming for the month of February is 2024. The next leap year, which will have 29 days in February, is 2024. What happens in 2024? Well, according to the records that we have, 2024 is going to be an epic day. Because on 2024, there's going to be a total solar eclipse all across America. 2024 is a total solar eclipse. X marks the spot. Let's get it right here properly, because I already have it up. August 2017, there was a solar eclipse that moves basically west to east. April 8, 2024, another eclipse will touch down upon the land of the west. This is going to make so much sense to you in a second. Watch this. It's already making sense to you right now. But let me get you there real quick. Let me get you to another slide I was looking at real quick. So far, so good. 2024 solar eclipse path. Let's get it. April 2024 total solar eclipse from 2017 to 2024 is 7 years. Spiritual perfection. Zayin, that's the word in Hebrew, a weapon. Zayin, a weapon. Spiritual perfection. Okay? So let's get it. While this is being loaded, I have very, very bad service tonight. The internet is acting silly. Let's go to number 7. Hebrew 5 letter number 7. Zayin, a weapon. Remember 14, deliverance, release. 28, leading of the spirit. 2017 to 2024 is what? Completion, spiritual perfection. Zayin, a weapon in Hebrew. The perfect weapon is the sword of the spirit. Okay? All right. So what happens then? In the book of Melchizedek, 10%. In the book of Melchizedek, it says this. He says, hold on for a little time, beloved. Yahweh Shai spoke to you straight. Let me get that for you. Let me show you what your elder, wiser brother told you in the book of remembrance of Melchizedek. Let me show you what he told you one-on-one. A conversation that he was having with you from the little book of John. And he was talking to you straight. And he was telling you this about him or about yourself. He was telling you to hold on. Hold on tight. Because in a little while, it will be the year of your release. But let me show it to you in the book. In a little while, it will be 2024. The year of your release. In a little while, it will be the year of your release. Family, hold on tight. Page 509. Little book of John, number 92. Middle paragraph. And now, Yahweh says, as then. Now let's start with number 91 so we can get context. And when this limit of tolerance was met, it tipped the scales, and the wicked were destroyed by the waters of the flood. So when the righteous observe these things in the end of days, and in the same conditions come up before your eyes or your faces, the four orders of creation are in the same way being attacked, you will know that once again, the limits of tolerance have come to be met, and the wicked will be destroyed by fire. And now as then, the earthly mother angels are pleading with the Most High Yahuwah for a Savior to come. And as I comforted them then, I comfort you now, and I tell you this, Yahweh Shai says, be patient and be comforted, because in a very little while, it will be the year of release. Hallelujah. In a very little while, it will be the year of release. Remember, the purpose of the voices of the thunders is to allow the truth to uncover the lies, so that agency, your free will, of both the wicked and the righteous can be fully realized. The wicked will lose their dominion upon the earth. The righteous will inherit the new heaven and the new earth, so that we can also inherit the treasures of heaven, being housed by Melchizedek with his seal upon it, upon all the sacred lands that have these treasures. Beloved, are you getting this? The year of your release is soon come. 7 years from the last one, the next one is gonna be another one. In 2024, we're gonna have a total solar eclipse. A total solar eclipse. X marks the spot one more time. Okay? We're gonna have a total solar eclipse in the entire North America. And Yahweh Shai is telling you what? Hold on tight. The year of your release is soon come. And it happens on a leap year, which happens every 4 years, because they give you 28 days for Black History Month. From that little drop that the Holy Spirit gave my wife, she came up with all this stuff. All praises to the Most High Power, the great I am, loving kindness, the Holy Great One, the power of Israel family. I can take you so many more places, but I won't. Too much to talk about. This video will be 10 hours. Let's go back to the brother.
With people that are already going back and forth. But just remember, we had a covenant with the Most High that he would not allow the Gentiles to come to our lands as long as we were following the law, statutes, commandments of the Father.
And we did not keep our covenant with the Most High. So he sent the other nations to our land and took on our blessing. Okay, so let's go to the third video, because that's something I want to read and I want to end. Let's go back. Let's go back.
Here we go. Here's Duplantis right here.
Duplantis. Yeah, this is Jesse Duplantis. He's another ally and he's on with Copeland. And look at how brazen he is. Watch this. I honestly believe this, that the reason why Jesus hadn't come is because people are not giving the way God told them to give.
Jesus hasn't come back because they're not giving enough money.
Okay, this is what Duplantis says, right? Because people are not giving enough money, that's why Yahushua didn't return yet. No, that's not why, okay? But let me show you Duplantis in scripture. Let's go back to the keys of Enoch. He's talked about in this book very clearly. I'm going to show you him in this page right here. And I'm also going to show you Big Judah in these pages too. And I'm going to show you myself, because we are pushing back against this guy in his crap. Let me show you from the keys of Enoch. I got so many pages. I got to get it. Give me a second. Let me see. Keys 319. Okay. All right. So let's go straight to Duplantis. Watch this. Okay, let's go. Number 17. I was shown how the religions of the earth will no longer alter and pervert the words of the righteous, nor hide the scriptures of light, nor lie and practice great deceits as to the education of the soul. See, this is what's happening. Duplantis is lying. And he's practicing great deceits. He's perverting the words of the righteous. He knows the scriptures, but he's not applying them. Okay? For the silence in the heavens will break forth into great thunder. Remember, the purpose for the voices of thunder is to uncover the lies. Okay? It's to allow the truth to uncover the lies. The wicked shall lose their dominion upon the earth. The righteous shall inherit the new heaven and the new earth. The silence in the heavens will break forth into great thunder, as the scrolls of light are revealed from the earth and from the heavens of the greater universe. Now remember, I told you, when these geomagnetic grids are popping up everywhere, this is what's going to happen. I saw, page 545, keys 319. There was a restoration of the holy books out of the earth. And I heard these words spoken to me by the glory of the Most High. Know the mysteries and read the heavenly tablets that have opened in the earth. And I saw a resurrection, okay? Number 6. And see the holy books resurrected from the graves of the Taklamakan area, the holy cities of India, the holy cities of Egypt, the holy grid of Megiddo. Okay, also Teotihuacan and Tiwanako, Cusco, also all these places over there, holy grids of Syria, Akkad, the holy cities of the sacred land of the West. That's every holy cities in North and South America, Mesoamerica, Mexico, Peru, all these cities over there in Guatemala, Tres Zapatos, all these cities over there, Chichen Itza, all these cities over there gonna have holy books coming from these grades. Number 7, I saw how there were thousands upon thousands of books or scrolls that were part of a sacred language revealed once again to the children of light, so that the false structures of religion and history will crumble, right? The structure which provides Duplantis and his cronies a platform to lie and pervert the words of light. This structure, the church of Satan, would crumble. These old structures, this false religion would crumble. And the true teachings of our destiny in the Father's kingdom of light will be revealed out of the foundations of the earth. Family, we are right here. This is the end of the book of the keys of Enoch. We are right here in this paragraph. The false structures of these religions are failing and are crumbling. And we are right here pushing back against these false teachings, this perversion of the words of light. Okay? Let's go and get a little bit more about this sacred language. Number 12. I saw how the sacred language that proceeded from the Father was used once again by the tongue of men, so that men was able to speak the language of the Father, understand the language of the Father, understand the language behind the language written on the sacred tablets, and communicate again with the brothers and the sisters of the heavens who speak through a higher language, a language of light. So this is what's going to happen when this language that was revealed to us over here, okay? I saw how there were thousands upon thousands of books that were part of a sacred language revealed once again to the children of light. This language is the language of the Father, a higher language. And we are told to speak this language and to understand the language behind the language, which are written on the sacred tablets, and to communicate again with our brothers and our sisters from the higher heavens who come down upon our ancient megalithic sites to communicate with us and interact with us and reveal to us the secrets and the secrets of heaven and the treasures of heaven. All praises to the Most High Power, the great I am, loving kindness. Family, listen. I want to take you somewhere real quick in the emerald tablets. I want to take you to the halls of Amenti. I want to show you these tunnels were not only used for meditation, for trade, they were also used for very highly spiritual things. Thoth, which is Enoch, went down into the halls of Amenti. And when he came out like this. He came out in immortal. Watch this. He says, then I spoke, O great master. So he was talking down into the halls of Amenti. Okay? He's speaking to death. Now, this is not for the faint of heart. I don't want to read the whole thing to you. I will some other time. Okay? He went into the halls of Amenti, the halls of the dead. Just like Yahweh went down to Hades and took the keys of death from Satan and whatnot. So death is speaking back to Thoth. He says, I, death, I come, and yet I remain not. For life eternal exists in the all. Only an obstacle, I, in the pathway. Quick to be conquered by the infinite light. Awaken, O flame, that burns ever inward. Flame forth and conquer the veil of the night. Then, in the midst of the flames, in the darkness grew there one that drove forth the night. flaming, expanding ever brighter, until at last was nothing but light. Then spoke my guide. See, thought was with a guide. He didn't go down there by himself. He was being guided by another, by a companion. He wasn't by himself. Then spoke my guide, the voice of the master. He says to Thoth, you see, your own soul, as it grows in the light, free now forever from the Lord of the night. Forward, he led me through many great spaces filled with the mysteries of the children of light. Mysteries that men may never yet know of until he too is a son of the light. Backward, then he led me into the light of the hall of the night, of the light. I knelt before the great masters, lords of all from the cycles above. He then spoke to me with words of great power, saying, you have been made free of the halls of Amenti. Choose you thy work among the children of men. Then I, Thoth, I spoke, and I said, O great master, let me be a teacher of men, leading them onward and upward until they too are lights among men, until they are all freed from the veil of the night that surrounds them, flaming with the light that shall shine among them. Spoke to me then the voice, and the voice says, go as you will, so be it decreed. Master you are of your destiny. You are free to take or reject at will. Take ye the power, take ye the wisdom. Shine as a light among the children of men. This was just a short paragraph from the emerald tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean king priest, the halls of Amenti. But I want to leave you with this. I want to leave you with this right here. Watch this. I want to leave you with this. I want to leave you with one more from Thoth. Watch this. The key of wisdom. I, Thoth, the Atlantean. I, Enoch, the Atlantean. I give of my wisdom. I give of my knowledge. I give of my power. Freely I give to the children of men. Give that they too might have wisdom to shine through the world from the veil of the night. Wisdom is power, and power is wisdom, one with each other, perfecting the whole. Do not be proud, O man, of thy wisdom. Discourse with the ignorant as well as with the wise. If one comes to you full of knowledge, listen and heed, for wisdom is supreme. Do not keep silent when evil is spoken, for truth, like the sunlight that shines above all. Whoever breaks the law shall be punished, for only through the law comes the freedom of men. All praises to the Most High family. I just wanted to read you. So I covered all 3 videos of Big Yahuda. And I brought some more information on Columbus. We talk about the tunnels. We talk about Duplantis and his lies. We talk about prophecy. We talk about the double solar eclipse coming. This is all happening. Why? Because the dove has returned to her land. America, the great land of the West, is the land of the dove, where her children will once again rule in shalom and in peace. This is where it's at, family. And this is where we are, right here in the land of the West, waiting for it all to go down. In the meantime, purify yourself. Purify your mind. Purify your family. Purify your bodies. Get ready. Get your house in order. Get your house in order and get ready. Be ready in season and out of season. Because you are an evolutionary vehicle carrying divine knowledge. You are the children of the light, and you manifest the gifts of the Holy Spirit. See this picture right here with the giant? Big Judah mentioned a giant. This is a giant that guards a castle in Portugal. This is a giant with one eye in his forehead. He guards a castle in Portugal. And I see a snake at the bottom. I see some ferocious animals, a dragon at the bottom. And I also see a giant. I know Big Judah mentioned a giant. I forgot where. But these giants are in these tunnels. These giants are in these castles. And if you think you can get in, think again. Remember who placed these giants there. Yahweh Shah controls the left and the right. In these tunnels, which houses the treasures of heaven, have the seal of Melchizedek. Family, I pray that you receive this with all diligence. Total solar eclipse in 2024 coming your way in a town near you. Shalom, family, until next time.